What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool beat Nottingham Forest by 3 goals to 2. Not a scoreline that we expected, particularly with the first half that we'd seen, but ultimately it is 3 points for the Reds, and I'm going to do what I always do, which is go through the starting 11 and substitutes, give them all a score out of 10, and ask you guys to let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. Now, before I get stuck into it, as always, little word from our sponsor, Circl. Don't forget the brand new game, match 5 numbers in 5 fixtures to win £1 million in cash. If you want to join us, what do you need to do? You can either scan the QR code in the top right hand corner, or you can go into the description of this video where you will find the link. If you're a UK resident, you're age 18 or over, you can play along with us. It's a gambling product, so we urge you to gamble responsibly. And don't forget, if you want a little sign-up bonus, meaning when you deposit your first £5 and place your first £5 in bets using our referral code anfieldagenda, all one word, our friends at Circl will match that with £5 in free bets for you to use at your description. And all I ask is, if you win £1 million, don't forget about my Volvo XC90. It's the least that you can do. Right, my friends, look, all joking aside, let's get stuck into it and go through the player ratings. And we'll start off, as we always do, with our big, beautiful Brazilian Adonis. Not much he could have done with the 2 goals today. In fact, he was unlucky. Both took a deflection. And he needs a better defence in front of him. He needs the lads to be stronger. We can't be conceding from long throw-ins and set pieces. And that second ball for the second goal of Forest, how did he have so much space, Gibbs White? Nobody within 5 yards of him as that ball dropped to him. That isn't good enough in our 18-yard box. And again on the first goal, one simple switch over to Nico Williams, and he had loads of space on that side. So not down to Ali, but his defence does need to be better. So what will we give Alisson today? Let's go with a 6 for Alisson. I think that's fair based off what we've seen today. Right, we move on now though to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It feels weird to talk about him as a right back now, because this is what we do. We go through goalkeeper, right back, centre back, left back. But he isn't really a right back, is he? He's an inverted full back, or whatever the hipster phrase is. But he's impacting games magnificently well. We are getting the best out of him. He has, again, the assists are coming. He looks more confident. We just need to find a way to be a bit more shored up behind him. But again, we are getting the best out of Trent. It was probably Diogo JOTA for man of the match today for me, but Trent Alexander-Arnold was second on the list. So I'm going to give Trent a score of 7 today. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree, but I do like what we're seeing from Trent, and I do like that he seems to be gaining in confidence. Right, we move on now to Ibrahima Kanade, somebody who we've been very, very complimentary of on the channel for the longest time. But today, he could have been better, should have been better, and needed to be stronger, most importantly. How he was turned by, I think it was Brennan Johnson, but it may have been Gibbs White. And that one that hit the crossbar, that's the one I'm talking about. He needs to be stronger in that area. He can't be getting out-muscled and turned inside the box like that. And I think he was still the better of our centre-backs today, but that's there's nothing to write home about, because both of them were not good enough. So today, I'm going to give him a 4. I know, it's harsh after a win, but defensively we just weren't good enough. Moving on now to his partner in crime, and I do say that, I guess, purposefully, Virgil van Dijk was shocking. Yet again, not good enough. Whether it be some misplaced passes, whether it be the laziness of pushing players. And this, I keep going on about it, but watch. Every time now a player's starting to get away from him or he's unable to catch up, it's an arm out like this, and I think it's an accident waiting to happen. And for somebody who's supposed to be the leader of a defence, he needs to be leading more. So I'm going to keep him right on par with his teammate and give Virgil van Dijk a score out of 4 today out of 10. Not good enough. Robertson. I can only assume that what Andy Robertson is doing is under instruction from Jurgen Klopp. He did get some assists today, if my memory is correct. And he was okay, but I don't like this checking inside all the time. I understand why we're doing it. I guess it's to protect the ball, but it slows the game down, and it's not giving us the natural width that we would want or need from a fullback. So I'd like to see Robbo. Like, there was one example today where he picked up the ball and Curtis Jones and JOTA were both there covering his position. So he could have taken on a player, but he didn't, and he still checked inside. That and some of his early crossing being under hit instead of whipping it around the defender. He's trying to go across the front of him, and Again, I can only assume it's under instruction, but I find it a bit frustrating. That being said, he wasn't as bad as our centre-backs today, so I'm going to give Andy Robertson a score of 6 out of 10. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree. Right, we move on now to midfield and Fabinho. And all eyes were on this man today, because if he picked up a yellow card, he was going to be suspended for the next 2 games against West Ham and against Spurs. He walked the tightrope, but he did it well. Got to the hour mark, was substituted by Jurgen Klopp. Wasn't his best game today, Fabinho. He played like a man who knew that he had to be careful, and maybe that was part of our problem. I don't know, but look, he got through the game and he didn't pick up the yellow. So for that alone, I'm going to give him a score of 6 out of 10 today. Moving on to this man, I think this was better from Hendo today. I haven't been overly impressed with Jordan Henderson lately, but the energy was there today. Didn't impact the game too much from an offensive perspective. Now, he seemed to be, it could be my imagination, and again, I've only seen the game once, I haven't watched it back, but he seemed to be in less of an advanced position today than he was against Leeds. Again, I can only assume that that was specific tactics for a specific team, but I'd like to see a little bit more bite back from Henderson. I'd like to see a little bit more in an offensive role. I'd like to see him just stop being so safe in possession. And that's something that I would echo right throughout the team. But look, not going to go in on our captain today. Of our midfield 3 that started, I'd say he was probably the best of the 3, which is nothing really to show home about when we weren't right home about, where we weren't great. But I'm going to give the captain a score of 7 today for Jordan Henderson. Moving on to Curtis Jones, somebody who we've been rightly complimentary of in recent weeks. Today was a game where I think it was hard for the midfield to look well with the way the Forest set up. You know, it was all hands to the pump at the back for them, and they were just making it hard for us to break through, and sometimes you need a bit of guile, craft or luck to break the deadlock. So I don't want to go in on Curtis Jones today, but it'll be interesting to see if the manager does freshen it up a little bit with the game coming up in midweek. Maybe puts Thiago back in, maybe Harvey Elliott gets a bit of an introduction, I don't know. But again, don't want to go in on Curtis Jones, but he wasn't as impressive as he has been in recent weeks. That's probably the fairest way I can be, and for that, I'll give Curtis Jones a 6. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Now we move into the end of the pitch where it gets a little bit more fun, right? And this man here, what can you say? He's coming back from injury. He's been a little bit stop-start. He's been a bit wasteful in possession at times. But my God, does he have a nose for a goal. And I'm loving this arrogant JOTA celebrations. More of that, please, Diogo. But again, today, 2 goals, my friends. 2 goals, and 2 very good goals as well from Diogo. 4 goals in 2 games, justifying his start. And again, you would expect him to start against West Ham midweek. Lucho isn't ready for a start just yet, in my opinion. Maybe a week or so away. So yeah, keep going with Diogo while he's in that form. He was our Anfield agenda man of the match today, and we're going to give him a score of 9 out of 10 because he deserves it. Coming back from injury, he was low on confidence. Now he's firing on all cylinders, and it's beautiful to see. He's better than Figo, don't you know? Now we move in to Mohamed Salah. And look, I've been critical of Mo this season. There's been times where I've said Mo wasn't at his best. But today, that goal, I can't speak highly enough. That's what the hours in the gym are for. That's why he looks after himself so well. The physical strength and the determination to get on the end of that ball and score that goal was magnificent. Take a bow, Mo. Absolutely wonderful. I think it's 27 or 28 now in all competitions this season. Something like 35 goals and assists. Not too bad for a season where we're asking, has he been at his best? Brazilian king? He's definitely not Brazilian. Egyptian king. I'm trying to get too far ahead of myself now. I'm waffling, and I'm just trying to laud the man. I'm trying to give him all the credit he deserves. But he 100% is definitely an Egyptian king. But I'm sure he's still a king in Brazil as well. But yeah, great for Mohamed Salah today. Again, can't speak highly enough of that goal. I loved it. I loved the determination of it. Everything about it. Brilliant from Mo. 8 out of 10 today for him. Gakpo. Tough one for Cody today. I'm liking him in the role. I do think it's a role that he suits very well. I just thought today, I wondered, should we have started with Darwin? But then when Darwin came on, I wasn't blown away. So Cody can be better, will be better. Yeah, I think a 6 for me today for Cody Gakpo. But that's a harsh 6 because I've been very impressed with him since he's come to the club. Now we move on to the bench, and Thiago Alcantara, mixed bag definitely from this man today. Some very loose passing, some miss-hit stuff. It made us tick, kept it simple, didn't really do anything to put us in danger, but his passing needs to be a bit more crisp if he's to try and force his way back in. So I'm going to go with a 6 for Thiago Alcantara. This man, Darwin Núñez, came on as a sub, had some moments of promise. Good work down the left-hand side where he latched onto the end of a ball from DIAZ. Ended up being fouled by Nico Williams. Had a header that he probably will feel like he should have scored from. But did he do enough to really make Klopp think about starting him against West Ham? I can't say he did, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe come off the bench, have an impact against West Ham when he starts against Spurs. But for me, I think Klopp probably goes again with the same front three. So not great from Darwin from the bench today. I'm going to give him a 5. And I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but I really do think he was a bit wasteful and a bit meh when he came on. Not enough to get into the manager's thinking, in my opinion. James Milner. I say it many times and I will say it again. If you want to see out a game of football and you are a goal up with 10 or 15 minutes to go, no better Buchel than Jimmy Milner to come on. And Buchel, by the way, Irish word for boy. To come on and see the game out. And that's what he does. And he did it again today. And I love him for it. And I love the energy and the shithousery he brings. I love that he puts himself about. And even at the young old age of 37, he's still the man to see out a game. That is where I think his impact in the team should stop. I think he is brilliant to bring on and see out a game, but I stand over what I said about thinking it is time for us to part ways with Jimmy Milner at the end of the season. But that being said, score a 6 for James Milner today. And Lucho, just for that little run alone, he's getting a bonus point from me. I thought he was brilliant when he came on, full of energy, and we've seen what we're missing. The bit of the unknown, the bit of the crazy, the bit of the loopy juice, as I like to call it. I love him, and I think he's the best player we could have brought in to replace Sadio Mane. We've been really unfortunate he's been out for a very long period this season, but Lucho is back. The minutes will build up, and fingers crossed with a full pre-season we will see him unleashed back on the Premier League next season. So I did promise you a bonus point, so 7 for Lucho for that. And that brings us to an end, my friends. That is it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the scores that I've given. We voted Diogo JOTA, the Anfield agenda man of the match. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And keep an eye out for the highlights, which will be coming up later on tonight as well on the channel. If you want to catch us, we will be back live streaming over on Twitch at 8:30. You'll find the link for that in the description. And once again, shout out to our sponsor, Circl, the football sweepstakes game, where the winner is decided by events that happen live on the pitch, and every moment counts. We've done it. Another win, another 3 points. What comes at the end of the season, who knows? But as long as we keep picking up points, I'll be happy. Over to you now. Let me know your thoughts. Much love.